Hello and welcome to the workout of the week. In this workout, it's the final part of our 3-part series for snatch progressions. So hopefully you've seen the other 2 and you've actually developed your exercise technique to this point. And this is where it gets exciting and interesting. This is where potentially you can actually start to up the load a little bit. So Andy is now going to be working with the Escape Fitness competition bumpers. We've got the 2 15-kilo plates here, so that's 50 kilos. Andy's been snatching for a long time. He's a very good lifter, so obviously you need to choose the weight that's right for you. But it is sometimes quite good to actually start snatching with a little bit of load once you've learned some of the basics, just to actually get a feeling of what it's going to be like when you're doing a full snatch. What we're going to look at now is we've done the snatch from the hip. We're now going to take the load down, or the bar down to the knee, and we're going to perform a snatch from the knee. Again, we talked about learning from the top down. So what we do is slowly progress this movement by taking it from the hip down towards the knee. So what Andy's going to do is just going to show us that position now. So we're going to call them in numbers. So this was position number 1, that's snatch from the hip. Position number 2, here, that's position number 2, that's snatch from the knee. Okay, then he's going to come back to position number 1 just for a second, and then he would go into his full exercise. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking for in terms of progression. So we'll just set that up and we'll let Andy go into it, because we can't kind of do it slowly really once we're in those positions. So have a look at it. He's going to start at the top, he's going to go to 1, into 2, and then we'll let him get into the snatch. Beautiful. And you'll notice that all of the things that were happening before that we've talked about a big high pull, so we're pulling up high, which we learnt in the pop and drop earlier on in the series. We talked about speed of dropping under the bar in our snatch balance, which you can see there as well. We talked about catching the bar, the overhead squat position, being strong and being able to recover and stand up above our head. So all of those things that we've learned already are really important to be able to put that exercise into practice. Let's perform a couple more repetitions so the guys can have a look at this. Again, taking your snatch grip and starting from the hip. Okay, going into point 1, into point 2. Look at the position over the bar. Catching the bar, recovering, and standing up tall. Okay, and again, one more. Just take a little focus time here, just on these positions. Look at that strong position, chest over the bar. Catching and recovering. Okay, awesome. Once you feel comfortable from the knee, the next thing you're going to do is a snatch from the floor. So this is a full snatch, okay? And hopefully you've developed and you progress slowly to be able to get to this point where this should happen reasonably easily. The only difference between this and the snatch from the knee essentially is what Andy's going to demonstrate now. So first of all, he's going to set himself up. Okay, and all he's going to show us is, this would be essentially, I guess, classed as point 3, and all he's going to show us is coming from point 3 to point 2. Okay, so a strong setup position. He pulls his elbows in, he really grips the bar tight, he takes the clink off the bar, he gets tight and strong through his torso. See how the torso stays over the bar as he comes to point 2. There, and that's all he's doing. And back down again. Okay, reset from here up to point 2. Okay, and everything else from there you've already learned. So essentially what we're doing here is piecing all those things together now. Okay, so I can't do this slowly with Andy, we're just going to let him actually get into it now. So you've talked about the setup, well, we've talked about the setup position briefly there, getting strong and tight, pulling the elbows in, finding your stance. Feet should be under the bar, eyes forwards. Catching and recovering. Beautiful. Let's perform 3 of those. Plenty of time in between each exercise. There's no rush when you're learning to lift. Okay, take plenty of time, even take a couple of minutes out between each one if necessary to think about it. You'll notice how he's got this really strong high pull. He's driving his hips through, he's coming to extension every time. He's finishing the pull off before he drops underneath the bar, catches the bar, and then recovers. Let's have a look at one more. Great stuff. Okay, so those progressions will take time, and we want you to make sure that you're happy and comfortable with each of those movement patterns before you really move on. If you want to be snatching well with good form and good technique, it's important that you learn those things and can perform them correctly. You'll notice obviously that we're using a good set of bumper plates here, so if you ever need to let the bar go in any point, if you feel like when you're trying to catch it you've lost balance or it's off balance slightly, you can always let the bar go. You can let it go forwards or let it go back, and it's not going to damage the the floor or damage the plates. Make sure you're lifting on solid ground as well, and make sure you've got a good set of lifting shoes or a good solid footwear which gives you good contact with the ground. Okay, so that's your three-part series for snatch progressions. We hope that's been useful for you. It's a great exercise. It's one of the best exercises around. Everybody should be able to get there eventually if they start to learn and progress slowly. Okay, so it's a really good movement pattern. Have a go at those progressions in the three-part series. Check back at the old videos if you've not seen them so far, and always get in touch with us if you have any questions. If you need any more information about Olympic weightlifting, don't forget to check out our Olympic weightlifting course and also our online learning platform where you can learn a few more bits about Olympic lifts.